Good afternoon, everybody. This is our colleague with the National Weather Service with Alaska statewide weather for August 26, 2020. A couple options for you. 1-800 number and weather.gov are both designed to help you further refine your weather search, and you will also be able to find any watch warnings and advisories out. Also, we have a lot of special weather statements, so it might be of interest for you to further refine or further define and search into some of those special weather statements that are out currently. And we also have email address that you can contact us if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. For the hazardous weather, we don't have any watch warnings or advisories out, but like I said, we do have a lot of special weather statements out for the state. One of them is for high surf along the northwest coast there, and that's going to be lasting through the day today. Otherwise, we have, as you'll see in the forecast, some pretty good chances of snow showers through the Brooks Range and Alaska Range at 2,000 feet and above for those areas. Also extending down to the Talkeetnas and southeast interior, Wrangell, St. Elias Mountains. And lastly, Juneau has a special weather statement out for the developing system on Saturday, developing low pressure in the Gulf of Alaska that we'll see on the surface map. So looking at the satellite information today, you can see the cloudiness associated with cold front moving through the western portions of the mainland, spreading some showers across much of the western mainland in through the Brooks Range and up through portions of the Arctic coast there, and even some showers showing up in south central along the Alaska Range mainly. Also some weak showers, lingering showers over the Panhandle with a weakening low down there. And we can see this on the surface map, but those showers extend up into the Yukon Territory. So what does this look like on the surface map? There's the cold front not anchored by a 989 millibar low there on just off the Arctic coast there, with showers across much of the western interior Brooks Range, heavier along the cold front, and some showers down through south central into the Alaska Range. High pressure poking into the Bering Sea, anchored there by the 1020 millibar low just south of Aleutians. Otherwise a weak trough just south of the Alaska Peninsula, 1009 millibars there, bringing some light showers along the Alaska Peninsula. And lastly, there's that low 1009 millibar low with a trough poking from that low pressure system, bringing some showers across the Panhandle, and those showers extend up into the Yukon Territory. For tonight's weather, that front breaks apart essentially, and because it becomes two systems with a low pressure system developing over south central, 1002 millibars there, with some moderate rain expected across portions of south central into the northern Gulf. There's the snow showers across the Alaska Range into the Talkeetna Mountains and into the southeast interior. And up through the north there, you can see some snow showers along the Arctic coast and into the Brooks Range, centered around that weakening cold front and low pressure system, 1003 millibars there, and some snow showers out there along the west coast. And high pressure continues to linger in the Bering Sea, anchored by the high pressure just south of Aleutians, 1024 millibars there. And lastly, trough moving through the Gulf region, bringing some showers through much of the Gulf region. For Friday's weather, that low pressure system is the main feature, 1002 millibars there with a Cluder front and triple point, bringing continued moderate to heavy rain along the North Gulf and some moderate to heavy rain approaching the Panhandle. Otherwise, Panhandle can expect some lingering showers there again for Friday's weather. And the low pressure system now in the Yukon Territory, 1003 millibars there, with some showers back through the eastern mainland, some fog along the Arctic coast, and there's the ridge that continues over the eastern Bering, anchored by the high pressure just south of the Aleutians, 1027 millibars there, with some weak troughs moving through the Bering Sea. For Saturday's weather, we'll be seeing another cold front moving through the northwest portion of the mainland, with showers associated with that system through that area and down through the Norton Sound region. Mixed precipitation across the Arctic coast there and into the Arctic Ocean, Beaufort Sea. Some clearing conditions expected across much of South Central and into the interior, so it will be a nice day on Saturday across that area. Otherwise, low pressure system lingering near the Panhandle, 1,006 millibars now, slightly filling, with some lingering rain associated with that system expected over the Panhandle, and that extends into Canada. Otherwise, the ridge of high pressure now pushed just south of the eastern Aleutians, 1,026 millibars there, and some weak troughs pulling through the Bering Sea, now approaching the Yukon Delta. Lastly, there is an occluded front expected over there across the western Aleutians, again for Saturday. So, taking a look at low temperatures Friday morning, 52 at Ketchikan, 50 at Sitka, Juneau 50, 55 in Haines, 49 in Yakutat, Valdez 46, 51 in Anchorage, 47 in Talkeetna, 48 in Kenai, 50 in Homer, 50 in Kodiak, 43 in King Salmon, Iliamna, 46. And then for high temperature Friday afternoon, 61 in Ketchikan, 58 in Sitka, 59 in Juneau, 62 in Haines, 57 in Yakutat, 49 in Valdez, 54 in Anchorage, 52 in Talkeetna, 48 in Lime Village, McGrath 48, and 58 in King Salmon, 58 in Kodiak. For low temperatures Saturday morning, 54 there in Ketchikan, 53 in Sitka, 51 in Juneau, 53 in Haines, 49 in Yakutat, Valdez 43, 44 in Seward, 42 in Anchorage, 36 in Talkeetna, 38 in Kenai, 42 in Homer, 44 in Kodiak, 34 in King Salmon, and 32 in Grath. For high temperature Saturday afternoon, 59 in Ketchikan, 56 in Sitka, 55 in Juneau, 59 in Haines, 59 in Yakutat, 59 in Valdez, 58 in Anchorage, 60 in Talkeetna, 53 in McGrath, 57 in King Salmon, and 61 in Kodiak. Up through the Arctic coast and in through the interior for Friday morning, low temperatures looking at 44 in Fairbanks, Fort Yukon 42, 41 in Eagle, 42 in Northway, 38 in McKinley Park, 36 in Dead Horse, Ukqiavik Barrow, 32, 36 in Point Hope, 36 in Nome, 39 in Savunga, and 36 in Galena, 39 in Tanana. For high temperatures Friday afternoon, popping into 53 there in Fort Yukon, 57 in Eagle, 49 in Fairbanks, 58 in Northway, 42 McKinley Park, 36 in AKwx Pass, 41 in Dead Horse, 39 in Ukqiavik, 46 in Point Hope, 46 in Nome, 48 in Galena, 48 in Tanana, and 48 over there in Savunga. For Saturday morning, cooling back down to 37 there in Fairbanks, 35 in Fort Yukon, 37 in Eagle, 37 in Northway, McKinley Park, 30, 32 in Tanana, 36 in Galena, 43 in Nome, 45 in Savunga, Point Hope 43, Ukqiavik 35, 34 in Dead Horse, 34 in Kaktovik, and 30 in Arctic Village. For Saturday afternoon, pop into 54 there in Fort Yukon, 51 in Eagle, 52 in Northway, 53 in Fairbanks, 52 in Tanana, 51 in Galena, 51 in Nome, 52 in Savunga, 48 in Point Hope, 41 in Ukqiavik, 49 in Dead Horse, 48 in Kaktovik, 45 in Arctic Village, 40 in AKwx Pass, and 47 in Battles. For low temperatures, Friday morning, looking at 39 in Bethel, 44 in Dillingham, 48 in Cold Bay, 51 in Dutch Harbor, Shemya 50, and 47 in St. Paul. Friday afternoon, 53 in Bethel, 49 in Antioch, 57 in Dillingham, 58 in Cold Bay, Dutch Harbor 59, 55 in Shemya, and 55 in St. Paul. Low temperatures Saturday morning, looking at 38 in Bethel, 35 in Antioch, 38 in Dillingham, 46 in Cold Bay, 52 in Dutch Harbor, 52 in Shemya, and 48 in St. Paul. Saturday afternoon, 56 in Bethel, 53 in Antioch, Dillingham, 58 Cold Bay, 59 in Dutch Harbor as well, 55 in Shemya, 56 in St. Paul. And lastly, taking a look at the longer range 8 to 14 day temperature trend ending September 9th, looking at pretty good warmth across much of the southwest, anchored there with tilts across much of the mainland for above normal temperatures, with weak ridging across much of the state, and that extends down into portions of the panhandle.
And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
Taking a look at the aviation forecast, starting with the flying weather for Friday morning, we're looking at some IFR conditions across much of the mainland, and that extends down into the Gulf region and out through the Bering Sea. We'll be watching a trough moving through the state on Friday, and we'll be watching a developing low in the Gulf of Alaska that strengthens for Saturday. But for Friday afternoon, looking for some clearing conditions there across the southwest portions of the mainland, but otherwise IFR conditions through the Alaska Range and northern Gulf and portions of the Panhandle, and also over there in the Bering Sea and portions of the Aleutian, as well as portions of the Arctic coast. By Saturday morning, there's a strong low that develops and intensifies in the Gulf, bringing some IFR conditions through the Panhandle and northern Gulf region. Otherwise, some IFR conditions spread out from the Seward Peninsula and northwest coast down through the Bering Sea and into portions of the Aleutians. And for Saturday afternoon, we're going to be watching another system coming in that extends the IFR conditions from the Aleutians into the west coast, Seward Peninsula, up through the Arctic coast. Otherwise, some lingering IFR conditions down through the northern Panhandle. Otherwise, some good flying conditions across much of the mainland. For past conditions on Friday, IFR conditions improving to marginal across AKwx. Same for Adigan. Then for Lake Clark and Merrill, IFR conditions expected down there in the Alaska Range. Also for Rainy. Same for Windy and Isabel, IFR conditions. Montesa, a little bit better flying conditions out there with marginal conditions. And then for Tanita, IFR conditions down there and into the Portage Pass there. I went for IFR conditions early, but improving to marginal during the afternoon and evening. And then for Chilkoot and White, IFR conditions throughout the day on Friday. For freezing levels on Friday morning, looking at 2,000 foot freezing level with areas of some surface freezing levels across the northwest coast and into portions of the Seward Peninsula. But otherwise, 6,000 foot freezing level cuts across the southern portions of the mainland and extends up into British or Yukon territory. And then 8,000 foot freezing level cuts across the Panhandle and extends down through the Gulf. Otherwise, some elevated freezing levels above 10,000 feet across the southern Gulf and over there in the Bering Sea. For icing conditions for Friday, 5 to 10,000 feet across the Arctic coast there and into the central interior, the Yukon basin there in the middle Yukon. Otherwise, between 7 and 10,000 feet across portions of the central and southern Alaska Range, and it extends even into the northern portions of the Alaska Peninsula. But otherwise, isolated moderate, covering most of the mainland especially. For jet stream on Friday, sharp trough across the state, northerly winds across the western portions of the mainland, exiting the northern portions of the Alaska Peninsula with 95 knots there. Otherwise, another jet streak cutting across the northern Portions of the Panhandle with 105 knots there. Otherwise, some southerly winds across the eastern mainland and some anticyclonic flow across the Bering Sea and Aleutians with between 40 and 50 knots there. For 9,000 foot winds on Friday, there's that anchoring low there over south central with northerly winds across the western mainland, more southerly winds to southwesterly across the Gulf and into southeast Alaska with between 40 and maybe even 30 knots across the Panhandle. Otherwise, some westerly winds across the Arctic coast there with 25 knots. For 3,000 foot winds on Friday, again, westerly winds coming into the Arctic coast, northerly winds down through the west, and 50 knots there as you get into northern portions of the Alaska Peninsula and Kodiak Island. And then southerly winds as you get into the Panhandle between 40 and 50 knots there. And lastly, for turbulence, looking at below 4,000 feet across portions of the Seward Peninsula, and that extends into the western Brooks Range, northwest coast, with again some considerable moderate there. And also we're looking at some isolated moderate to considerable moderate across portions of the southwest Alaska Peninsula, northern portions of Alaska Peninsula and Kodiak Island, and as well as the eastern Alaska Range and into the Talkeetna area, Talkeetna Mountains, and down through the southeast interior.
Don't be obtuse, stargazers. This week, I, Trace Dominguez, will help you find 3 constellations thanks to one asterism. There's no special angle. All you have to do is try. If you lay on your back and look at the very top of the sky, that's called the zenith. And around 11 p.m., the summer triangle will be gathered around it like a delicious meal at your abuela's house. You should notice Vega first. It's the brightest and bluest of the 3. Altair is the second brightest, shining with a stark white light down and to the left, and Deneb is the faintest up and to the right. The 3 stars are part of 3 constellations. Vega is the top right corner of Lyra the harp, Altair is the neck of Aquila the eagle who looks back toward Lyra, and Deneb is the tail of Cygnus the swan who's flying right into the triangle. You can spot the summer triangle all season long, and remember, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Keep looking up.
If you've been watching this series, you know that NASA has scientists posted all over the world studying Earth's frozen regions. We've got people exploring ice sheets, glaciers, permafrost, sea ice, snow, and even ice on other planets. But even our top scientists need a little backup sometimes.
Do you like going outside to do science?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's fun.
Yeah. What's your favorite part?
Frost tube.
Frost tube! Cool!
In this bonus episode of Cryosphere, we're following the micro-explorers that are helping NASA collect data from their own backyard.
Do you think it's going to be frozen?
Yeah.
Yes? Why?
Because it's very frozen!
Here's the idea. Students construct a frost tube that gets put into a hole in undisturbed and uncompacted soil. During the cold months, students will measure the depth at which water in the frost tube freezes, indicating that the surrounding soil has frozen. This is one of many citizen science projects facilitated by GLOBE, the Global Learning and Observations to Benefit the Environment program.
What's going on? What did you find out?
It's the ice!
How far down is the ice? So is there still liquid in there?
It's a worldwide program that, so far, has collected over 130 million measurements from more than 10 million students in 113 countries.
Are you scientists?
Yeah.
These measurements are added to a massive worldwide database that's free and open to the public.
GLOBE connects my students with the rest of the world through science and looking at climate change and how it's affecting the future.
GLOBE teachers like Terry are transforming the way kids see science and how they'll respond to changes in their future environment.
Let me see your happy face.
Actually, we were so impressed with the kids of John Fredson's school that we decided to show their work to the scientists in the original NASA Explorers Cryosphere series. And they had a couple things to say.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Oh my god.
Do you like going outside to do science? Why? How far down is the ice?
That's awesome.
Wow, this is really, really cool.
Hey students from Miss Perry's class, I just got to see your video. I was so impressed that you guys were braving the conditions of the snow and all the crazy stuff to go and learn more about the permafrost and where the water layer is right outside your school. That looked incredible.
It is so exciting to see you guys and girls doing such great work as we watch our planet change over time.
Hey there, young scientists. Looks like you guys are doing some amazing things. Remember to keep warm and take notes, and also stay curious.
Oh my god, this is awesome. I love seeing the enthusiasm of these kids. They're outside, it's obviously really cold, but everyone is so excited to be out there making measurements for NASA. That's wicked cool.
Because you're so right, science is so fun, and I really hope that you'll continue believing in that. The best piece of advice I ever got was, whatever you do, do your best.
And from all of us here at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, remember, dare mighty things.
So keep up the great work. Make sure that you're having fun no matter what. That's the key thing about pursuing a career in science. Make sure it's something that you love. And I'm really impressed. So hopefully we'll take the lessons you're learning and apply them when we explore our solar system.
And now, marine weather around Alaska.
Taking a look at the marine forecast, starting with the ice edge, talking with the ice forecaster. He mentions that aerial coverage is still decreasing and there's still some lower concentration of ice hanging around there in the Beaufort Sea, but otherwise pretty clear through much of the Chukchi Sea. For marine forecast on southeast on Friday, for the inside waters, winds from the south at 15 to 20, seas as high as 5 feet in northern part of that area. And for the Gulf region, winds generally from a southerly direction, 25, with seas as high as 6 feet. And for southeast on Saturday, inside waters, winds generally from a southeasterly direction, 20 to 25, with seas as high as 5 feet. And for the outside waters, Gulf region, winds generally from a variable direction, 20 to 30, with seas as high as 12 feet. So look for possible small craft advisories there on Saturday. For Friday's marine forecast for South Central, for the Gulf region, winds generally in variable direction, 15 to 30, with seas as high as 9 feet just south of Barren Islands. And then Prince William Sound, winds generally from the southeast of 15, seas as high as 3 feet. And for the Cook Inlet region, winds generally from a northerly direction, 20 to 30 there down in the Kamishak Bay region, with seas as high as 12 feet. Look for small craft advisory there for Friday. On Saturday's marine forecast, Gulf region, winds generally from a northwesterly direction, 15 to 35, with seas as high as 10 feet. So look for small craft or even gale force winds there on Saturday. And for the Cook Inlet region, winds generally from a variable direction, 10 to 30, with seas as high as 12 feet there in Kamishak Bay region. So again, look for small craft advisory, even gale force there on Saturday. For Friday's marine forecast, around Kodiak Island in Alaska Peninsula, around Kodiak Island, winds generally from the northwest at 25 to 30, with seas as high as 8 feet. South side of the peninsula, winds generally from the northwest at 20, seas as high as 5 feet. And for the north side of the Alaska Peninsula, winds generally from a northwesterly direction, 20 to 25, with seas as high as 7 feet. For Saturday, looking at winds generally from a westerly direction around Kodiak Island, 20 to 30, with seas as high as 8 feet. South side of the Alaska Peninsula, winds generally from the west at 15, with seas as high as 5 feet. And for the north side of the Alaska Peninsula, Winds generally from a westerly 15 with seas as high as 4 feet. For Alaska's the Aleutian chain on Friday, looking at a variable direction with winds generally from a variable direction with seas as high as 5 feet. And for Saturday, winds generally from the southerly direction 15 to 20 with seas as high as 8 feet there between Kiska and Shemya. For West Coast, winds generally from a variable direction 10 to 20 with seas as high as 7 feet there just south of Nunivak Island. And for Saturday's forecast, winds generally from a southwesterly direction 15 to 30 there in Norton Sound with seas as high as 10 feet. So look for small craft advisories there on Saturday. For Friday's marine forecast, for the Arctic coast on Friday, winds generally from a westerly direction there along the Arctic coast, Beaufort Sea coast 20 to 25 with seas as high as 7 feet. Down through the Chukchi Sea, winds generally from a southwest direction as well to 20 with seas as high as 6 feet, and down through the Bering Strait, winds generally from a westerly direction to 20 with seas as high as 6 feet. For Arctic coast on Saturday, winds generally from a southerly direction along the Arctic coast there to 25, seas as high as 9 feet, and down through the Chukchi Sea coast, winds generally from a northern direction 20 with seas as high as 8 feet, and down through the Bering Strait, winds generally between 25 and 30 with seas as high as 10 feet. For tonight's weather, that cold front breaks apart and essentially becomes two systems, one across the north there moving through eastern mainland, another system forms into a low that will be moving into the Gulf and strengthening, but we will see some pretty good rainfall around that low in south central with even some snow showers across the Alaska range and into the Talkeetnas. Look for special weather statement there, and also special weather statement for snow above 2,000 feet.
These forecasts are for planning purposes only. Call 1-800-WX-BRIEF for a formal pre-flight briefing. Always file a flight plan before you go flying. The U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary urges you to leave a float plan with a friend or the harbor master before you go boating.